Okay. Let us wait for Governor Henry. That's easy. Buha nga. Okay. Before we proceed, yung walang katapusang pasasalamat natin kay Governor Henry dahil napakasarap ng pagkain. Thank you very much. Pwede daw mag-host ng Bimpiyaga diri sa sunod. Yes. Okay. Just some brief announcements before we proceed with the next item on the agenda. Thank you to the Bangsamoro Economic Development Council and the representative of the Chief Minister for the fast action. Hiningi natin ang kopya ng resolutions that were passed. Is it on soft copy or may copies lahat? Okay, I think it's being distributed right now. Thank you to Director Muhammad Alon for the quick action. Nandyan na po yung hiningi nating BEDC resolution approving and endorsing the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao proposed nationally significant projects to the Department of WH Central Office. We will just, Secretariat, please reproduce and distribute to the members of the board, and let us double check during let us double check if the projects that were discussed earlier is part of this resolution. Okay, next item on the agenda. Of course, for context, we in the Mindanao Development Authority have been trying to do a number of things for our LGUs. Through the different RDCs in Mindanao. The next item will focus on economic zones as investment platforms. We have, over the past year, agenda number 2 is strengthening investments and industrial growth in Mindanao. Over the past year, this Minda Board has been intensifying our investment promotion activities. Our missions to Korea, Japan, and Qatar have generated a growing pipeline of investment leads, many of which are now in active negotiations. Para doon sa hindi nakasama doon sa investment missions, dito, unahin ko muna doon kay Governor Demeray, may bumisita na. Kay Governor Edwin Jubahim, may bumisita na. Pero ang pinakamaraming beses na binisita ng ating Korean investors, walang iba ay dito sa lugar ni Governor Henry Ominal. I think the third visit or the second will be on April 6 and 7. Yung Qatar naman, I'd like to announce that the Qatari group is on its third visit to the Philippines since we visited Qatar. Today, they will be visiting, right this moment, they will be visiting, they are with the Department of Energy to invest in power in Mindanao. The details I will share to the members of the board once the engagement is already running. The task before us now is to ensure that Mindanao is investment ready, has investment-ready locations to match this investor interest. While the national government is setting up or making sure that a number of laws are passed, katulad nung PPP Act, the Arrow, the Right of Way Act. There is what you call the Green Lanes Act of the President, the Campaign for Ease of Doing Business, and of course the Create More Act that was passed by Congress. These are a number of laws so we can invite more investors to make our country more investor-free. Aside from that, one of the strategies that is being being adopted by the government is to put up economic zones. Economic zones with their investment frameworks, regulatory clarity, and infrastructure support are one of the most powerful tools to turn leads into signed commitments and operating businesses. The Mindanao Development Authority formalized our partnership with the Philippine Economic Zone Authority. Same MOUs that we signed, that Minda signed with DOTR, with the DPWH, again with the DENR and the other government agencies, especially the PPP Center. I-announce ko na lang, sorry, alam na nung karamihan. I'd like to announce in front of the Congressman, our special guest today. Kong, we signed and we opened up the first PPP one-stop shop facilitation center here in Mindanao. Ang problema natin, Kong, yung ibang LGUs, aside from hindi nila alam that they are authorized, that they are mandated, are allowed by law when the PPP law was passed at the end of 2023, hindi alam nung karamihan that they are allowed to enter into public-private partnerships. Before the passing of the PPP law, kailangan pa nilang gumawa ng sarili nilang ordinansa, kailangan pa nilang makipag-usap. Ang problema dyan, kung hindi magkasundo ang mayor at ang konseho, or ang mayor at ang kanyang sanggunian, hindi napapasa yung mga batas para sa PPP. When this PPP was passed, this opened up more opportunities for the LGUs and the private sector. Next, we formalized, of course, our partnership with PEZA through an MOU signed last February 2026. Nung isang buwan lang po, we encouraged the PEZA to open up a more active office in Mindanao, which will again help facilitate the completion of proposals of the different LGUs and the private sector para dito na muna i-process, katulad ng PPP proposals, bago dalahin sa Manila for final approval. We have been actively assisting different LGUs. Minda has been actively assisting a number of LGUs since its creation. And right now, we are actively assisting LGUs in Dinagat Island, Bislig City, and Hagonoy in establishing economic zones. We are also assisting private companies in completing their economic zone applications for approval of PEZA and eventually a presidential proclamation. Today, we are here as what we have agreed as a board that we will invite the different government agencies to discuss different concerns, again, of the different RDCs. Nagsimula tayo sa DepEd, nagsalita ang DepEd Secretary, Sir, sa lahat ng mga Minda Board, DepEd, DA, DPWH, and now today, the PEZA has sent to us an expert in economic zone. He is from Davao, but he is the zone administrator for the Baguio City Economic Zone, BC, Baguio City Economic Zone. Yun ba ang tawag? Yes, Attorney Abdullah Adel Khan, P. Alog, to update the board on economic zone performance, development pipeline, and promotion strategies. Attorney Alug, the floor is yours. Thank you very much for coming and sharing your valuable time with us. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman Sir, for that kind introduction. To the honorable members of the board, of the MINDA board, magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat. Assalamualaikum. On behalf of the Philippine Economic Zone Authority, with the Director General Tereso O. Panga, it is our pleasure at the PEZA to share with you its plans and programs insofar as it can help, the agency can help in the Mindanao Development Program. So we entitled our presentation, as you can see on the screen, Strengthening Investment Competitiveness in the Mindanao Policy Directions, Ecozone Pipeline, and Investment Acceleration Measures. Just for a brief introduction, PEZA law was passed in 1995, entitled the Special Economic Zone Act of 1995. Primary of its objectives is to attract and encourage both foreign and domestic investments, generate employment, boost the export, and facilitate transfer of technology through the creation of economic zones. Now, after a strategic plan, it has been the policy of PEZA, especially in the part of Mindanao, that we believe that Mindanao is no longer a frontier of potential. Yes, no longer a frontier for potential, but it is now a frontier of opportunity that must now be operationalized. So, along that line, next slide, along that line, before that, this one, along that line, we, as mentioned by Secretary Leo a while ago, PEZA and MINDA entered into a memorandum of understanding just last February of this year with the aim of strengthening collaboration in economic zone development and expanding investment opportunities in Mindanao. So, at the end of this objective, at the end of this presentation, it is our objective to align PEZA initiatives with the Mindanao Development Agenda, support industrial expansion and regional balance, and lastly, position Mindanao as a premier export manufacturing hub. In its letter to PEZA, MINDA asked PEZA to deliver on the following areas. Number one, policy briefing. Second, ecozone updates. And lastly, investment attractions. So foremost, in the policy briefing, and as already mentioned ago in the introduction by Secretary Leo, is the passage last year, November 2024, rather 2 years ago, of the Corporate Recovery and Tax Incentives for Enterprises to maximize opportunity for invigorating the Economy Act, or the Create More, which is in the next slide. This law is an amendment to the previous 2021 legislation, which is the Create Act. All of these laws are an amendment to the National Internal Revenue Code, but lays special emphasis on corporate establishments. So, as a key and salient feature of this legislation, it focuses on the fiscal incentives that are given by investment promotion agencies, and one of which is PEZA, along with many other investment promotion agencies, to name a few: Subic Bay Metropolitan Authority, the one we have in Mindanao, the Zamboanga Economic Zone, CDC, and the likes. So, with the passage of the Create More, all of the incentive packages that are given by PEZA and all the other IPAs are uniform. Previous to that, each IPA has their own investment package. So with the uniformity of the investment package, nagkakatalo na lang sa mga non-fiscal incentives. All right. So in the next slide, these are the salient features of the Create More Act. So it enhanced tax incentives through better and more competitive packages. And particularly, it was also crafted to address ambiguities and expand the coverage of VAT and duty availment. This ambiguities was created by the Create Act, its predecessor, the predecessor of the Create More. And it also improved ease of doing business by enhancing provisions of the tax code as amended by this law. Going forward, in the grant of incentives, incentives is just one of the come-ons or attractions for the investments to enter the Philippines. So, another will be power and energy, logistics for the supply chain, workforce, and the speed of doing business. But since we are talking about incentives, in the next slide, previous to that, yung grant of incentives, I will just give a quick recap. Okay, we can just stay in this slide. The incentives given by PEZA and all other IPAs now range from after the income tax holiday, depending on the type of industry that the investor would be presenting, it will range from 4 to 7 years. So in those 4 to 7 years, there will be no tax local or national. After that, the RBEs or the registered business locators, or commonly known as locators, will be choosing from the 5% special corporate income tax or the enhanced deduction regime. Also, as a non-fiscal incentive, the Create More also introduced this key provisions on employment of foreign nationals and the local sales allowance of up to 30% of the total annual export. Meaning to say, even if a registered business enterprise or locator is export-oriented, it is allowed to perform or do local sales up to 30%. Also, up to the lease of public lands were increased up to 99 years, and there's a special PEZA visa for non-immigrants that is now for 2 years. This is apart from what is being given by the Bureau of Immigration. So through a memorandum of agreement between PEZA and the Bureau of Immigration, the former 1-year period was now increased to 2 years. So just a introduction on the 5% special corporate income tax. If a locator will choose that as its incentive package, it will just pay 5% special corporate income tax. Of that 5%, 2% will go to the local government unit, the host local government unit. And the remaining 3% will go to the national government through the BIR. Bureau of Customs is out of the question because when a locator is granted PEZA status, it will be enjoying a duty and tax incentive, duty-free incentive for its raw materials, for its capital equipment, and machineries. As well, they will also be given a VAT zero rating for all its local purchases. So instead of sourcing it out abroad, they can do local purchases and that will be entitled to zero VAT. Another key feature is that, when after the end of, another key feature rather is if the investment exceeds 15 billion pesos, the tax incentive will be much higher and it will offer up to 27 years aggregate of the tax incentives compared to the initial 4 plus 10 or 4 or 7 plus 10 years. So mas malaki po. The higher the, in essence, the higher the investments, the higher the incentives. In fact, for big ticket investments, specifically for those over 50 billion pesos, or in the alternative, generating at least 10,000 jobs, our President may grant up to 40 years, 40, of tax incentives. For context, that's longer than the 30-year incentives package Vietnam granted to Samsung. In the next slide, another key feature for the policy briefing, as mentioned a while ago, is also the VAT exemption. VAT, for its, the duty component of the import has a VAT component that will be exempt. As to the local sales purchases, as to the local purchases, it will be subjected to zero VAT. And another key feature why this law was passed, amending the CREATE Act of 2021, because of the stringent wording of the law then in CREATE Act, where the word that was made as qualifier for a registered business entity to enjoy the VAT zero rating is that it must be directly and exclusively used. Now it has been worded giving more leeway to the investment promotion agency to determine which activities are subject to zero VAT rating with the use of the word directly attributable, as it is now worded in the Create More Act. To be more specific, BIR released Revenue Regulation number 3, series of 2023, providing for the following services that you can see on the screen: janitorial, security, financial services, and the like, even legal and consulting services. So all those activities will be subject to the VAT zero rating. So these are just the fiscal incentives. And then, for the next slide, apart if the investor will not opt for the special corporate income tax, it can opt for this one, the enhanced deduction regime. And in this enhanced deduction regime, from its gross income, ito po yung mga items na pwedeng gawing deductions. So, as you can see, halos like sa R&D, 100%. Training expense, 100%. And doon sa increased additional deduction for power expense, from 50 to 100%. Operating economic zones or even the locators, they account for their power supply or power needs, energy needs, 40% of that. Ganun ka power hungry ang mga, lalo na sa mga manufacturing firms. So with this option, depending on the financial study of the locator, they can choose the special corporate income tax of 5% or this one. But again, they cannot change their duty of their tax incentive in the middle of the game. So once you choose one, it will be irrevocable. Next slide. Now, in the Mindanao context, this has been what has been observed by PEZA. And some of these were also taken from other government agencies from the studies that being conducted by these agencies. So, number one is the logistic cost disparity versus Luzon. And then, the power cost and reliability concerns. These are gaps. The limited plug-and-play industrial estates, meaning the lack of economic zones in Mindanao. Later, we will be showing you a map of the Philippines where the dispersal of the economic zones are. And then lastly, there is this perception that regarding security and distance risk. So in order to address these gaps, it is recommended, number one, that there be a geographic incentive differentiation, meaning an enhanced incentive for Mindanao-based locators must be given. But this requires legislation. So this is where the team up or the agreement, the covenant between Minda and with the provincial governors as sitting as RDC chairpersons can help. Number two are infrastructure-linked incentives. We must incentivize the creation of ports, whether it be seaport or airport, and as well as logistic hubs. Third recommendation to fill in the gaps is energy policy support. That is to facilitate direct power contracting and the adoption of renewable energy. In the public economic zones, PEZA just recently adopted this type of sourcing of power service agreements. So mainly, we go renewable, and all the public zones, namely Baguio City Economic Zone, Cavite Economic Zone, and Mactan Economic Zone in the province of Cebu, have now entered into a agreement with an original proponent, similar with the DOE guidelines on Swiss challenging. And then, in this manner, the ecozone will have a cheaper rate in terms of energy. And so, the same goes as well with non-renewables. So, we subject them to public bidding so that even with the increase in power cost, we have a steady supply and guaranteed rate from the winning bidder. So these are the recommended actions that we here in Mindanao, particularly our special economic zones, must be given as an assistance. And then lastly, itong one-stop shop. It has been existing ever since 1995, nung PEZA, and even its predecessor, EPZA, before 1995. But we just need to strengthen it. Strengthening it, meaning it will now be ma-involve na ngayon yung LGU at saka mga integration in the Mindanao Development Plan, especially in the application for registration of locator status. Kasi dumadaan po yan sa local government unit, mga clearances, and then dun sa kanilang sinasubmit ng mga clearances, particularly sa city and environmental compliance certificates and the like. So, if we strengthen this collaboration between PEZA, the LGU, and the concerned national government agencies who also exercise jurisdiction in the creation of economic zones, then the Mindanao, the gaps that has been determined in the Mindanao perspective will be solved. If not, it will be minimized. Next is that we will show to you the dispersal of economic zones. So it's still Luzon-centric with 308 economic zones. Tayo sa Mindanao, 42 lang, hindi pa tayo nangalahati sa Visayas. Of the 436 operating economic zones as of December 2025, 42 ang nasa Mindanao. And in that special economic zone, 42 in number, dyan naka-house yung mga locators. So, as big, kung gaano kalaki yung economic zone, and depending on the type of economic zone it is, the number of locators correspondingly will be proportionate to the type of industry that special economic zone has been created for. So as you can see on the green, naka-color green, yeah, that one. So ganyan po ang number of operating economic zones. So dito na lang sa atin, in Region 10, we have 12 operating economic zones. And inside that economic zones, merong 37 approved projects. Meaning yan yung mga registered activities enjoying the fiscal and non-fiscal incentives. And throughout the years, as of present, in Region 10, it has generated 19,409 direct employment. Yan pa lang po yung direct employment. Hindi pa natin nasasama dyan yung mga indirect employment based on the multiplier effect principle, wherein in every economic zone created, all the other services needed by that unit. Because parang you can compare an economic zone like to a barangay. So, from food concessionaires, security services, trucking, janitorial, lahat nagkakaroon ng hanap buhay. So in fact, for every economic zone that is being hosted by an LGU, the status of that LGU increases over time. Yung class, meaning yung class niya as a municipality or as a city. So the one in Surigao del Norte, yung sa Claver, the one that is asking for a cityhood, it is because nakalocate doon yung Taganito HPAL. It is engaged in the business of extracting minerals for nickel and cobalt. Next slide. We will just quote to you the Ecozone Development Program in the Philippine Development Plan from 2023 to 2028. Guided si PESA nito for the creation of ecozones will maximize investments and promote industrial dispersion, especially outside metropolitan areas. This is similar to Administrative Order 18 in the past administration, wherein the rural areas will given priority in terms of development rather than concentrating in the urban areas. So as you can see on the lower left, these are the cities in terms of per capita income that are the wealthiest. And all these cities are hosting big economic zones. Number one is Baguio City Economic Zone, where yours truly is serving as its administrator. 25% of the income of the city of Baguio comes from the Special Economic Zone, and this figure comes from the Philippine Statistics Authority. Second to that is Cagayan de Oro City, where saan nakalagay yung mga maraming call centers, nandyan din. Contiguous to that is the Del Monte, Philippines. Third is the city of Lapu-Lapu in Mactan. So yan po ang ranking nila. Ang common denominator dito is what we have said a while ago, that kapag nagkakaroon ng economic zone sa isang LGU, yumayaman po yung LGU. Kasi yung 2% directly remitted by the locator to the local treasurer. So on the right side are just but of the economic missions that PEZA has conducted, some of which are in tandem with the DTI. And what we propose in the next slides is that MINDA, with the recent memorandum of understanding, this be strengthened with collaboration with MINDA, insofar as the Mindanao Development Agenda is concerned. Next slide, we will be sharing with you the eco-zones in Mindanao in terms of activity and the type of economic zone. So in Region 9, Zamboanga Peninsula, nag-iisa lang yung PEZA registered. Meron pa tayong mga ibang IPAs, yung mga BOI, meron pa dyan yung Zamboanga Economic Zone. Ito lang yung figures ni PEZA. So, isang agro-industrial, and one eco-zone siya, one locator. In Region 10, here, mixed. So, kompleto siya. Meron siyang agro-industrial, meron manufacturing, IT centers, and IT parks. If you may ask, anong difference ng IT center and IT park? An IT center is a standalone building, while an IT park is a group of IT centers. And in Region 11, the Davao region, ganun din. Similar in number, similar in types of ecozone. Karamihan are IT centers with 9. And then Region 12, Soxargen, we have agro-industrial, manufacturing, and IT park. Later, we will be showing to you the type of activity that are being conducted in these ecozones. And then lastly, sa Caraga region, meron tayong 1. Yan yung na-mention natin kanina na taga nito HPAL, engaged in mineral processing. Next slide. For Region 10, ito po yun. Dear members of the board. So, dyan sa Region 9, Region 9, we begin with Region 9, yung DCOMI or Dipolog Coconut Oil Mill. So, yan ang kanyang registered activity on the far right, last column. Oil milling and crude oil and copra cake. Whereas in Region 10, andyan yung Del Monte, Philippines. Yung kanyang pangalan ng kanyang zone is Quezon Agro-Industrial Zone. Locator niya si Del Monte, Philippines. So, they enjoy everything from when they import, tax and duty free. So, iba talaga yung advantage if a business entity opts for a PEZA registration. Then, Hasaan, yung Pilipinas Cow, gumagawa ng mga chemicals used in cosmetics and shampoos and the like, makeups. Yan po yung produkto nila. And then, we have the BPOs and IT parks. In the next, Region 11, next slide. Next slide, Region 11. Nandyan yung ating banana exports. Sumifru, Philippines. So, ang pangalan ng Special Economic Zones is AGMR Economic Zone. And within it is Sumifru, Philippines. And then the one in Panabo, Anflo Industrial Estate, where Head Sports is located. Yan yung gumagawa ng mga tennis balls. And they need as raw materials yung mga rubbers. So they source that out from the different provinces. So another key innovation of the Create More is that it allowed domestic enterprise to be registered as an PEZA locator. So that the ecosystem, the economic ecosystem will mushroom. Lalaki po siya. So may involve sila may enjoy nila yung mga fiscal incentives. So parang ang mangyayari dyan is kung supplier ka ng rubber, then you opt to be registered as an economic zone, magiging indirect export mo yung rubber, which will enjoy the incentives. And then, yan po, yung mga remaining are, again, IT centers and BPOs. Bakit merong IT centers and BPOs? Bakit nasa PEZA sila? Because they export services. Kaya po siya nahulog sa category ng export-oriented activity because what they export are the services through the call center agents. And then, Region 12. Next slide. Sa Region 12 naman is yung Cargill Oil Mills Corporation. It is a U.S. firm engaged in the production of crude coconut oil, among others. And then we also have there sa General Santos City, yung Millennium Industrial Economic Zone, kung saan napapaloob ang General Tuna Corporation, yung gumagawa po ng Century Tuna. And then they also make other brands for the Japan market. Just a trivia, etong General Tuna Corporation, it used to be a domestic entity. operating na siya. But then when nalaman niya about PEZA, nag-migrate siya from a domestic corporation to a PEZA-registered entity. Therefore, prospectively, from the moment it was given PEZA registration, na-enjoy na niya ngayon yung mga fiscal and non-fiscal incentives. Kasi napapadali po, for every economic zone na nalagay, yung Customs, Bureau of Customs and PEZA, may office po doon. So no need for the locators inside, for their processors, to go to the port, to the seaport. So nakapalo po doon yung customs. Purpose naman doon ng customs is to, of course, to inspect kung what was declared to be imported is what has arrived. And then, kinukumpute lang nila yung tax forgone. Because, again, duty-free ang importation. And then, meron din sila sa Region 12 ng IT Park. And then lastly, the Caraga region, yung na-mention po natin kanina in the next slide, is yung Paganito Special Economic Zone located in Claver. So, engaged in the activity of extracting and nickel and cobalt, sulfide, and mineral processing. In the next slide, para sa EcoZone updates pa rin, you will see 3 columns. Yung first column na investments is for every year, yan ang pumapasok na investments, approved investments. Second is yung column is for exports. This is in US dollars. And then yung third, employment, cumulative po yan. Hindi every year, yan ang nadadagdag. So meaning to say, noong 2014, it started with 57,000 employees. Ngayon, 2025, last year pala, 2025, nasa 109,000 direct employment na. So yan po ang snapshot ng pumapasok na investments sa PEZA alone as an IPA. Usually, pag sinabi nating approved, meron pa yung time para mag-start ng commercial operation. Usually 3 years. So yung mga nasa 2020, nasa 2021 na mga figure, like for example, in 2022, may 3.9 billion na pumasok. By now, nandyan na yan. Pumasok na yan. Nandyan na yung pinramis nila na activity na gagawin nilang economic zone. So, that is just for the Mindanao, yung 42 special economic zones. Siya nga po pala, sa Mindanao, walang public economic zone. Pag sinabi nating public economic zone, yung lupa, yung industrial estate, is pagmamayari ng gobyerno. Bari si government, through PEZA, ang nagiging landlord, and ang tenants niya is yung mga registered business enterprises or yung tinatawag nating locators. Dito naman sa Mindanao, walang public economic zone. Puro special economic zones. Meaning it is developed by the private sector. In its inception, 1995, it has been the policy through that legislation, the Special Economic Zone Act of 1995, in-encourage na yung private sector na maging locator. But in the concept of a developer. Binibigyan siya ng developer, PEZA developer status. So yung paggawa niya ng kanyang economic zone, lahat ng importation niya will be taxed and duty-free. All local purchases, yung mabibili niya dito will be subjected to the VAT zero rating also. Kasi yun din yung regime before. Na-enhance lang with the Create More Act. Next slide. As to investment attraction, yung third point that we wish to impart. Ito yung these are the PEZA priority industries. So advanced manufacturing, yan, electronic vehicles, aerospace, shipbuilding, as far as electronics and semicon manufacturing is concerned, silicon carbide chips, 5G, green ore processing. So lahat po yan naka-enumerate. Pwede pong gawing, yan ang gawing activity ng isang special economic zone. So all the investment missions, all of the efforts of the national government, collaborating with each other, yan po yung hinihikayat natin na mamuhunan dito sa ating bansa. And kumbaga, yan yung mga priority industries. Kasi yung mga manufacturing, yung mga paggawa ng mga t-shirt, kagaya ng mga Under Armour, Adidas, which is nandyan yan sa Cebu, dun sa Mactan Economic Zone in Lapu-Lapu City, yun yung mga traditional na mga activities ng mga economic zones. So we are shifting to this one. And apart from that, we have the new frontiers na eco-zone development. If you will see on the screen, halos lahat ng mga activities na pwedeng magkaroon ng business ay pwede natin gawing economic zone. Para lang sila ay mahikayat na dito mamuhunan sa Pilipinas. And kaya natin ginawang red yung opportunity for halal and food production hubs because nandito tayo sa Mindanao. So, of the 7 trillion US dollar world market, makakuha man lang tayo doon, makakuha tayo ng share, that will translate a lot. And then, since mineral processing, meron na tayo dito, as mentioned a while ago. And then, renewable energy parks. Marami tayong pwedeng mga hydro dito sa Mindanao. Pwedeng panggalingan ng hydroelectric power. Knowledge, innovation, science, and technology. KIST parks. Yan yung mga state universities, colleges, higher education institutions na pwedeng mag-apply as a locator. So, ang ginagawa dyan is R&D, usually. R&D. And in collaboration with DOST, pag ang DOST, bali na certify nila na that state university or that school or university has the capacity, then PEZA will register it as an economic zone. So meron po tayo sa Maramag, sa CMU, Central Mindanao University. Hindi nga lang natuloy, but there was this MOA with them, but the processing of their as a KIST, hindi po nila na-comply. So, next slide. Ito lang yung mga strategies na-identify. Yung naka-neon green, strengthening po yan ng BIMP IAGA. This time, through the creation of mega eco-zones. Pag meron na pong mga, once ma-identify na natin yung mga from that area, from that region, growth area, if there will be economic zones that will house them within Mindanao, the better. Yun po, yung readiness natin to house them. Kasi when we go out there and then trade missions, but we don't have the area for them to stay para sa mga special economic zones, especially mga developers, the likes of Mega World, Aboitiz, yan po yung mga developers na pwedeng mamuhunan. And then, yung digital transformation, digitalization. Sa PEZA, almost 100% digitalized na. From import permit to farm in, farm out, meaning pagpasok sa economic zone, paglabas sa economic zone for subcontracting, payment in collaboration with MAEG. You can do it at the comfort of your office, no need to go. So yung mga cashiers po namin ngayon, wala na trabaho, naiba na yung mga designations nila because of this online payment system. And even the interzone. Kasi interzone, if you are a PEZA locator, you can transact with SBMA. You can transact with Cagayan Economic Zone. Like in Cebu, when I was in Mactan Economic Zone. My sister company, yung isang locator doon sa Zamboanga Economic Zone. So, yung kanilang exchange ay indirect export. Dati mano-mano application. Now, we have the electronic zone transfer system, digitalized na rin. So, these are what attracts the investors. If they go to the Philippines and then ganito ang ating technology with the help of all the government agencies in making it easier for them, then dyan po tayo magkakaroon ng growth potential dito sa growth opportunity rather in Mindanao. So identified investment attraction strategies, plug and play industrialization, meaning ready-built factories, standard factory buildings. Kung papasok po tayo sa isang economic zone, makikita po natin, yung pinakamalapit sa atin is yung Anflo sa Panabo, malalaking mga warehouse. So, ganun. Yun ang needs ng mga locators. Malalaking area. And then you need ready-built factories for them. And we give also facilities, yung mga gumagawa ng ready-built factories, they are also considered exporters. They are given exporter status and PEZA status kasi ang activity nila will be constructing ready-built factories. And they also enjoy the fiscal incentives. So, the rest are, andyan lang siya, incentive enhancement strategy. Again, that this will require interagency collaboration and even legislation. And then yung number 6, yung investment promotion strategy, joint PEZA, MINDA, DTI roadshows targeting these countries. And yeah. And then last key takeaway, for the Mindanao to be the next industrial frontier, we require policy calibration, infrastructure synchronization, ports, seaports, logistic hubs, and aggressive promotion. And as far as PEZA is concerned, PEZA will facilitate with its red carpet treatment, accelerate investments, and not compete with the private developers. And ito din yung laman ng ating MOU with MINDA, for MINDA to support the differentiated incentive advocacy, endorse priority economic zone developments, because all economic zone developments after dumaan sa PEZA ay requires presidential proclamation before bumalik sa PEZA para bigyan ng registration agreement as a PEZA registered entity. And then facilitate interagency coordination, champion Mindanao in the global investment promotion. So, in closing, PEZA stands ready to enable. With MINDA's leadership and interagency alignment, we can decisively position Mindanao as the Philippines' next industrial engine. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Attorney Abdullah Delcan P. Alug of PEZA. I am sure that there are some questions. Kami lang ni Gov. Henry dito, mga 20 questions lang na itanong sa akin ni Gov. Henry. Just a again, thank you really for PEZA. This is one of the directions that we are trying to steer Mindanao to. There are some revelations, there are some numbers there that I would like all of you to focus on. Number one, while there are 436 PEZA economic zones, or on the other category, 308, only 42 are in Mindanao.
That's right.
We have not utilized, we have not taken advantage of this program of the government that will certainly entice investors to come in. This is one of the campaigns of the Mindanao Development Authority together with the local government units. Sabi ko nga kanina, marami ang natutulungan natin na LGUs and the private sector. Yung Anflo, tinulungan po yan ng MINDA in coordination, of course, with PEZA. Maraming LGUs na lumalapit sa atin, Bislig, Hagonoy, at ito si Governor Nilo, meron nang nilalapit, kaso si Governor Nominal nag-schedule na next week, 2 weeks from now, ng yung economic team, yung PEZA team ng MINDA. I'm sure iimbitahin namin ng PEZA. Babalik na dito for a 3-day. There are so many things that we have not taken advantage of here in Mindanao. And these are the things that we are trying to advocate in the MINDA board. So again, thank you very much, Attorney Alug. If there are any questions from Gob, tanungin mo na. Okay na. Kasi nasagot ko na. Any other questions from, Governor Nilo Demaray?
Thank you very much, Attorney Alu, for that. If you're going to look at it, the data presented probably would reflect as well on the peace and order. Because if you're going to look at it, these investments would flow in the moment these regions are meaning declared insurgency-free.
Yeah.
So this all would correlate. So that would be one of the reasons why out of more than 300, there are only 42 in Mindanao. But we have better peace and order now. I believe that investment would be flowing in because that's why we have to help campaign that Mindanao is already peaceful. We have to ask the travel advisories of these countries such as US, Australia, Canada. If you're going to look at it, they're only allowing their citizens, travelers to Mindanao only 4 places. Number 1, they can travel to Davao City. Number 2 is Samal Island. And number 3, they go to Siargao. Ipalungan ko. And number 4 is Tinagat Islands. We have 4 that are included in the advisories of Australia, US. So probably we can help request all these embassies, these countries that to allow their investors to come to Mindanao because Mindanao is peaceful now unlike before. So with the help of PESA, with the help of Minda, probably we can do a lot of things. We can improve the investments. I was talking to Gob Edwin na usapan namin medyo ang isa talaga din na problema dyan, even if we have this incentive countries, yung promotions, if, of course, kasama that, for example, we've been to several countries, we went to Japan, we went to Korea, talagang given yon na they will be willing to invest in many areas. But our problem, for example, in Dinagat, we have good lands, we have better this and that, but we don't have power. How can they invest if I don't have power? That's why we are trying to diversify, that we will source power for island areas. We'll use LNG, liquefied natural gas. That's why I signed with PNOC that in 6 months all